This week on Beacon Web News, travel course cancellations leave students without spring break plans, and Andrew Stroud gets to the bottom of it. Then, the talent show illuminates our biggest stars on campus, and we celebrate Women's History Month. That's all coming up next on Beacon Web News. Hello and welcome to the March 13th episode of Beacon Web News. I'm Allie Teenel. For some MCLA students, spring break means heading overseas for a week of learning and adventure through a travel course. This year, however, some students will be putting away their suitcases before even reaching the airport, as the school has canceled 2 of these courses. BWN's Andrew Stroud has more on the story.
On Sunday, March 3rd, an emergency meeting was held for students enrolled in the alternative spring break trip to Haiti to announce the cancellation of the trip. The cancellation is due to a Level 4 travel advisory warning by the United States government. The advisory was put into effect on February 14th due to violent protests by Haitian demonstrators. Spencer Moser discusses the cancellation.
And so they have a strong network of staff, Haitian staff on the ground that we are able to communicate with to give us updates, if you will, on safety and security.
The Haiti trip is the second travel course to be canceled this semester, with the travel course to China being canceled before the semester had started due to a Level 2 travel advisory warning. China's government has implemented an exit ban to keep United States citizens in the country. According to the U.S. Department of State website, China has been using exit bans to compel U.S. citizens to participate in Chinese government investigations, to lure individuals back to China from abroad, and to aid Chinese authorities in resolving civil disputes in favor of Chinese parties.
Here in the business department, Professor Moriarty and I thought it wasn't such a good idea, and then Vice President Williams supported our decision, and it was canceled before the semester even began.
Students who had already paid for travel expenses expressed concern over reimbursement from the school.
One of the first things that President Burge made very clear, and Kathy Holbrook, VP of Academic Affairs, was that no student was going to be a dime out of pocket because of this decision.
With spring break right around the corner, students must quickly find alternative plans. For Beacon Web News, I'm Andrew Stroud.
Come see Hidden Figures on Wednesday, March 13th at 7 p.m. The film will be shown in Sullivan Lounge in honor of Women's History Month. The movie follows 3 African-American women who were the brains of one of the biggest operations in the history of NASA. Make sure to catch this event, as snacks will also be included. Cloud 9 still has 2 showings left. Catch the play in Venable Theater March 13th and 14th from 8 to 10:30 p.m. According to their Facebook page, Churchill's play explores the ever-changing world of sexual politics as we follow a British family from colonial Africa to London in the 1970s. Victorian repression clashes with liberal expression as the play shifts between these 2 worlds and time periods. Cloud 9 is intended for mature audiences. This week, BWN City Council correspondent Shunquel Dennis returns with details on the future of the Mohawk Theater. Plus, concerns over speeding on Main Street are addressed. Shunquel?
Thanks, Allie. City Council has once again decided to postpone the decision on selling the Mohawk Theater. At the Community Development Committee last week, the committee came to the conclusion that legally they are not 100% sure that the proposed authorization is the way to go. Councilor Benjamin Lamb proposed to have the item postponed until the next meeting, which was unanimously seconded by every other councilor present. This item will return to the agenda at the City Council meeting on Tuesday, March 25th. Councilor Lamb also proposed a communication to look into the speeding on East Main Street. He says the Public Safety Committee met and they concluded that they did not identify any speeding trends in the area from the data sampled. Councilor Rebecca Cohen raised concerns about when the data was taken and wondered if it was taken at times when there would be most likely to be more foot traffic. Councilor Lamb said the data was sampled at different times throughout the day. He also said there are efforts underway in order to institute methods beyond officers ticketing people for speeding and that there are multiple approaches to this problem. Councilor Cohen talked about the advancement of the city as well as vehicles and the need for more assessments regarding safety for pedestrians. She said she has noticed it seems to be more crowded around Cove Grove Elementary and wondered if that could be a hotspot for people not paying attention to the road. She would like to see a more comprehensive assessment of safety, especially for East Main, Minor, and Pleasant Streets. The motion was voted to be filed by all members of the council. Mayor Tom Bernard submitted a proposal to the Massachusetts Building Authority. This is a statement of interest for funding for the total renovation of Greylock Elementary School. The school was built in 1954. The building is obsolete and has no space for special needs or technology services. There are even converted a storage closet into a small classroom. A resolution was adopted to authorize the superintendent of schools to submit that statement of interest. According to the superintendent, Barbara Malkus, this is the first step in the process for a possible building project at the local elementary school and does not in any way ensure or endorse that a project will take place. Malkus also read the authorized communication at the meeting, which helped counselors to better understand what it entails. The vote was unanimous for accepting the proposed authorization and concluded with Malkus' cheer, "Go Blue Devils." Allie?
Attention all LGBTQIA+ students, faculty, staff, and allies. Thursday, March 14th from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m., come espresso yourself with the Identity and Gender Equality Resource Center. The club is hosting a meet and greet at the Parlor Cafe. Allies are also welcome. MCLA Career Development is hosting an 8-week-long series called Career Kickstart, in which employers will be at the Campus Center Marketplace to talk to students about job opportunities post-graduation. On Thursday, March 14th, Berkshire Health Systems will be present to offer opportunities for those interested in healthcare and information technology. The spotlight shone bright last Saturday night at the MCLA Talent Show. BWN's Karen Canella witnessed the magic firsthand and caught up with some of campus's brightest stars.
The talent show in MCLA made its long-awaited return to the social hall on Saturday night. MCLA students and even some faculty performed various acts that included singing, dancing, spoken word, and acts of comedy. With the promise that participants will gain a prize if they win the talent show, a panel of judges was also there to pick out the talented winners. Preparing for a talent show is one of the most important pieces to making sure the show goes as planned. Erica Lucia, the MC of the show, shed light on how the show came together.
At a talent show committee, and we got together once a week and we made sure that we always had somebody doing something, whether it was flyers, making the program, making sure that emails were being sent out to the acts and everything. I didn't really have a big job seeing as I was the MC, but I did help out.
The acts in the show wasn't the only thing that gained attention. With an attendance of 200 students, the show's success was highly contributed to the audience members. Lucia explains why it was so shocking.
Overall, I think the talent show went way better than we thought. I'm so relieved that it was successful, and I really hope that it keeps going.
Audience members tell us about their favorite pieces from the show.
The best performance, either like the science guy, because I don't know, might as well take something home from it, or even any of the comedic shows I really liked.
I think Tara's poem was the best because I love Tara and she's so talented, but all of them were really good.
I thought all the performances were fantastic. I thought everyone did a really good job.
Honestly, I really liked all the comedy shows, and the physics one was really cool, and I loved the man bun one.
Performers tell us how they felt about their performances.
I was really nervous about my performance at first, but I think it went really well.
Well, my performance went great. I feel great about it. That's one of my favorite songs that I've written and recorded, and I'm happy to have showed it to everybody.
I think talent is about expression, and everybody express themselves, so I feel like it was great. My opportunity to just be here around people that can see me express myself is great.
With over 200 students in attendance in MCLA's first annual talent show, students can only hope that this tradition continues. For Beacon Web News, Karen Canella.
Music is coming your way with the Punch Brothers, who'll be at Mass Mocha on Saturday, March 16th at 8 p.m. Their 2018 album, All Ashore, was critically acclaimed and reestablished the quintet as a stellar progressive bluegrass band. Tickets are $39 in advance and $49 at the door. They can be purchased at massmocha.org. Last week, the Big Y grocery store in Adams closed its doors. Big Y was the only supermarket in Adams, and many citizens were concerned about where they could get their shopping done. Adams Hometown Market, a small grocery store chain from Connecticut, is set to move into the space Big Y once occupied. In search of a scholarship? Apply to MCLA's foundation before the March 24th deadlines. Applications for the different scholarships can be found at mcla.awardspring.com for the 2019-2020 academic year. For any questions, call the Financial Aid Office at 662-5219 or contact finaid@mcla.edu. The Boston City Council has locked horns with the local Satanic Temple chapter. BWN's Andrew Belargin revisits what happens when you mix church and state in this week's edition of Take Note.
A Massachusetts-based Satanist group claimed in late February that it was denied a chance to say their invocation at a Boston City Council meeting. After allegedly being denied this request, they filed a complaint with the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination. Now, Boston City Council meetings usually begin meetings with an invocation, usually prayer from a clergy member. According to the state Satanic Temple chapter, they were told that invocation speakers are scheduled by invitation and council members can choose whomever they like. The Satanic Temple pointed out that the Supreme Court ruled in 2014, while invocations to begin a meeting are legal, viewpoint discrimination in determining which religions may give these invocations, or even preference of faith over non-belief, is strictly prohibited. For Boston City Council's end, City Council President Andrea Campbell has yet to issue a public response or even return any calls or inquiries from media sources such as the Boston Herald, Boston Globe, or the Friendly Atheist online magazine, who have inquired. At this point, it is clearly time to remove invocation from City Council meetings and to remove prayer and other forms of religious expression from political gatherings. Religion and politics have always had a troubled relationship, which caused separation of state and church to become a thing. For the Boston City Council, they put themselves in a no-win position here. Either they accept the Satanic Temple's request and open the floodgates for other religions and faiths to come in and give invocations which could potentially take hours, or they deny the Satanic Temple's request and blatantly oppose the Supreme Court in doing so. A great middle ground approach would be to remove religion of all kinds, the faithful and faithless, from the picture. Religion, or lack thereof, does not impact somebody's ability to do their job as a city councilor in any meaningful way. It is not worth the complications it has caused. It is clearly not immoral or lacking in tact to be religious or to not be religious. However, ultimately, religion should be contained within its own sector, removed from our politics, public schools, and any entertainment venue where religion itself is not directly the primary topic or focus. Thank you, and make sure to view Beacon Web News after the spring break in a couple of weeks for another edition of Take Note.
Be the change and raise your voice. SGA nomination papers become available March 25th for interested students looking to get involved. All positions are open. Let's use this opportunity to interact with the MCLA community. The deadline is April 8th. On Thursday, March 26th at 5 p.m., Career Development will be hosting another Kickstart event, the Pathlight Group. Pathlight's mission is to build relationships and to assist individuals with disabilities and their families in being a part of an accepting and caring community. If you are a student going into social services or nursing, this is an organization worth checking out. Just because March is Women's History Month doesn't mean we can't own our power the rest of the year, ladies. In celebration, BWN's Julie Texera reflects on some prominent individuals.
March is International Women's History Month, and through the years, women have made an impact. Close by in the town of Adams, Massachusetts, is the birthplace of activist Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony was a teacher, and after moving to New York State, she met abolitionists William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass. After listening to their stories, she became passionate about abolishing slavery. This passion would move into the fight for the rights of women after the first Women's Rights Convention in the United States held in Seneca Falls in 1848. This began the women's suffrage movement. Anthony was not a part of this convention, but she noticed this movement developing, and she began to take part. The work of herself and many other activists during this time led to the passage of the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote in 1920. Through the Susan B. Anthony Women's Center, MCLA has many events happening throughout the month of March. On Wednesday, March 13th at 7 p.m. in Sullivan Lounge, there will be a showing of the movie Hidden Figures, which tells the real life story of 3 African American women at NASA as they served as the brains behind the launch of astronaut John Glenn into orbit. The following Wednesday is Women's Center Wednesday in Campus Center Room 323 at the Susan B. Anthony Women's Center, and this will be centered around women in history. Finally, on Thursday, March 28th at 7 p.m. in Murdoch 218, author Greta LaFleur will be discussing trans history and trans politics. I leave you with this quote from Susan B. Anthony. I declare to you that women must not depend upon the protection of man, but must be taught to protect herself. And there, I take my stand. And for Beacon Web News, I'm Julia Texera.
With graduation approaching quickly and seniors rushing to apply for jobs, the Career Development Team is here to help. If you're in need of assistance with crafting the perfect cover letter, stop by Bowman 205 on Thursday, March 28th. The workshop starts at 6 p.m. Planning on living on campus again next year? The returning student housing assignment process paperwork is due to the RPS office by 4 p.m. on Thursday, March 28th. For any questions in regards to the housing forms, stop by Townhouse 89. It's time for MCLA Madness. Follow the live bracket every day as students, faculty, and more vote on their favorite aspects about MCLA. In order to participate, simply head to Instagram and follow at MCLA_EDU to check out their Instagram story. Polling ends every day at 10 p.m. So who's in the running? Some competing in the brackets are Nexus, Dance Co., WJJW, and your very own Beacon Web News. Let's make those votes count. That's it for this episode. To stay up to date with BWN, be sure to follow us on Twitter and our official Facebook page at facebook.com/MCLABWN. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful spring break.